What is up, everybody? It's fantasy football draft time on Underdog with some best ball action. Um, this is like take two because actually, I did the thing that I try not to do is mixed up the baseball and the football channel. So some of you got to watch a false start. Play does not count. The draft does not count on the baseball channel. But here we are, and you know what? I'm glad because I got the 8th spot in that draft. I don't like the 8th spot. I was just saying. So let's try it again here and get into another best ball mania. So I know some of you like to jump in here and draft with us. Let's do it. Give you a minute. And those of you who haven't done this before, maybe you're checking this out for the first time, welcome. Or maybe you just haven't tried it. Maybe, I don't know, you're ready to dip your toe into best ball. You're not sure whether you should take the plunge. Let me show you Underdog. Okay, this is the draft lobby right now. As soon as you sign up for Underdog, and of course, if you're doing this for the very first time, you're using code NGAME so that you get bonus cash and a free pick that you should use as soon as possible because it's free. Now, when you get to Underdog, go to drafts and then NFL. I want to also point out that some of these drafts that we've been doing, in fact, one that we had just done not long ago, they had these $3 and $5 drafts. They have all sorts of new contests that had come out: the German Shepherd, German Shepherd 2, German Shepherd 3, Superflex, the Pomeranian, all these others. They're gone because they all filled up so quickly. So they still have the ones that have been going on here for a while. Weekly winners, you want to try that? It's exactly what it sounds like. We did one of those sometime last week. The SFB Satellite, Big Dog. Those of you who definitely know what you're doing, the Eliminator. But let's just do the old standby. Let's do Best Ball Mania 6 once again, the big one. Because I honestly, the little ones are all filled, all gone. So let's just do the big one again. All right, getting a chance to win the big money. And this is where really the serious best ball drafters go. So let's get in here. 20 seconds per pick. 3, 2, 1. In we go. Ooh, spots for 4 more people. I'm feeling this is going to fill pretty quickly. Yeah, there it goes. All right, let me switch over to the draft board. Give me 1 second. And there we go. I'm at the 7, even worse. All right, well, that's what I get. That's okay. You know what? It doesn't matter. We've drafted from every position. We watched so many drafts. It really doesn't matter, right? Right. So I'm going to tell myself here. All right, there it is. Let's see. Oh, and Miguel's at the 2. And Jonathan right there, right in front of me to snipe me again because he did that the other day. He's going to do it again. That's all right. I'll be ready. Also, you know, it gave me time, the fact that, in Sports Head, you're at the 11. Where are you at? Let me see. I haven't scrolled over. Oh, okay. You're 11. Yeah, so at least half of us got in here again. That's pretty good. I actually don't mind the 7. There's usually a player, you know, perfectly happy with right there. So it doesn't matter, right? At this point, I think I could draft best ball like with my eyes closed. It's like the grandmasters, right? They go around like with blindfolded and they play like 20 chess games at a time. I think that's how it is. If you just told me what pick I had in best ball, I could tell you basically like how my team would turn out, and tell you also like the week 17 matchups and the bringbacks and all that. That's where we're at here. Like I said, I thought I was going to do this a half hour earlier. Gave me a chance, though, the fact that I had to redo it here gave me a chance to basically catch up on all my slow drafts. As I mentioned, I got into the German Shepherd 2, I think it was. And then I also did the Superflex one because I liked that it was a $5 entry point, but also 20 entry max. So I was like, I'm going to max something. Yeah, I can't max like Best Ball Mania. Like, sorry, don't have that kind of bankroll. And this was like 20 entries. You know, one was $3, one was $5. Like, I can do that. And so I did it, but I had to do it through the slow drafts. And so now I'm on the clock every day when I wake up. I'm on the clock on like 23 different slow drafts. All right, let's do Gibbs. Gibbs at the 7. Nothing wrong with that. All right, so let's see what's up. What's up, Andrea? What you doing? Kenny? All right, you guys are in here. EAW, do we do any mock drafts on Yahoo? No, we do our mocks on Sleeper, like Kenny said. It's just a nice, clean UI. We just like the way it looks, the way it works. There's nothing wrong. I actually like Yahoo. After Sleeper, Yahoo is probably the second best in terms of doing a league, actual league on. And I'd say probably for fantasy baseball, since there's no Sleeper for fantasy baseball, I think Yahoo's probably the best. The mocks on Yahoo, I don't know if they even let you do like a private mock. I think you can jump in there with random people or like bots, but who wants to do that? So we always do Sleeper. Yeah. All right. So what's going on today? Well, I mean, training camp is going on. No huge news that I know of. And I kind of looked here. I guess it's news. CMC looks good. Got him running in slow motion and making a one-handed catch. Yeah, and he went third overall here. So the hype is real, and it's hard to call it hype from a guy who's been the number one player in all of fantasy in the past. It's been a minute, but I mean, it's kind of hard to argue against him. We know what he can do. He could be the number one player in fantasy again this year. He really could. Okay, here's my dilemma. Gibbs, I go AJB or do I go Lad? I kind of flip-flop. I probably have more Lad at this point. Let's just do it again. Let's go Lad again. So, yeah, CMC, he's going to be easily a first-round pick in every draft. He might be a top 5 pick. I mean, I don't know. Before Gibbs, you could debate this all day. Would you rather have CMC or Gibbs? Gibbs is sharing the backfield with Monty, and CMC isn't. You know, CMC is in that Niners offense, but you know, CMC didn't do much of anything last year because he was hurt and Gibbs wasn't. So it's you can go either way. Honestly, we're not going to know the right answer until the end of the season, and I don't think there's a wrong answer right now. You can go with either of those guys. Personally, I think I would still go Gibbs. I'm not going to just flip it just because all of a sudden, you know, training camp is here and he hasn't gotten hurt yet. I mean, I never anticipated that he would get hurt in the preseason, so I don't know why my opinion would change now. But I'm okay taking CMC over Gibbs if someone wants to do it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Other news, I guess, kind of news. Justin Fields seems to be better. Looks like it was not a big issue, at least I saw with the toe. So I think that's kind of a big sigh of relief for Jets fans, for those of us who have Justin Fields in best ball already, and especially if you have Garrett Wilson. That's the one I'm worried about. Okay, speaking of, all right, there goes Garrett Wilson. I got to pay attention here. I can't say what I'm going to do because I know the person right in front of me on the clock is watching and listening. Let's see. All right. That's fine. I figured you would take Devontae. Let's go JSN again. There's nothing wrong with that. All right. So there we go. Little anchor RB, hero RB start, I guess, whatever you want to call it. Another guy, I mean, it's almost getting ridiculous. I think in Underdog, I'm officially done drafting Amari Hampton just because now you have to take him in the early 30s, right? I mean, third round. After the third round, forget it. You're not getting him. The thing is, you used to be able to get him way later. So I don't know. This is just the inflation kills it for me. I can't take a guy when I was taking him. It's kind of like J.K. Dobbins, when you could get him for nothing at the very last pick, like after pick 200. And then now all of a sudden he's going just outside the top 100. It's like, I don't know. I just can't. I just don't know. I actually have taken him a little bit here and there now in some of my slow drafts, but I just hate to do it. It's like I know the price he used to go for. Hampton. I mean, look, I know that he's going to be the guy now with Najee out, but it's a lot. It's early. It's a little early. I think it's a little early. I'm sorry. Taking him over Brees. I don't know. I kind of still like James Cook just as much, and he's going around later, so I'm just going to wait. We get a little rookie crazy, don't we? We all do. I mean, Cook is still sitting right here, so I could take Cook, go another RB, or I could just take a receiver. Oh, okay, somebody. Oh, interesting. Okay, I'll just grab Evans. Nice and boring. Interesting that Rice didn't fall. I mean, his ADP still says 37. Most of the drafts I've seen them going, he's not going that early. People are waiting. Just this hasn't adjusted yet. But yeah, Rice should definitely be going later. I mean, there's no way he's worth anything close to a third or even fourth round pick. There's just no way. So, you know what? Not everybody here, like, not that it's the only thing that matters, but some badges here, some aren't. Some people here are our guys, some people aren't, and some people here haven't drafted a ton enough to know. I mean, I'm not saying you can't take Rice, just it doesn't make sense to take Rice there. Let's see what we got here. What's up, Joel? Joel asking a very good question. Are we doing endgame leagues again this year? We are. We're waiting until the first week of August at least. We've got some big news announcements to make. We're going to do leagues, but just wait. Pretty soon you'll start hearing about it. So yeah, we're definitely doing community leagues. Of course, that's what we do. We like draft with you guys and chat with you guys. That's why we do it. So we'll definitely have leagues with y'all again. So soon, very soon. All right, let's see what's going on here. I think I like any of these receivers. Flowers, Waddle. Go Waddle. Started to draft a little bit of Travis Hunter. I still prefer either Waddle or Flowers over him. And all these guys, I mean, Flowers is technically the number one receiver in his offense. Waddle is the 2, so is Hunter, but I just have a little more confidence in Waddle's target share. And let's see if you guys leave any good running backs for me on the way back. What's up? Okay. Let's go to this. Okay, first of all, let me scroll down here and you'll see the draft board a little bit better. We're getting into round 6. I don't know what's going on in the chat. I just saw somebody threatening to roundhouse kick someone. Christian, appreciate you. All right, got a question. 12-man league. Got Puka, Genti, McBride, Kamara, Adams, Myers, Aubrey Mahomes, Jordan Mason, Garendo, Shakir, and Slayton. Graded. All right, absolutely. Let's do it. Just got to make sure I don't miss my pick. I've been known to do this while I'm on the chat. So let me make sure at least I have some guys queued up here, and then I'll grade your team. I'm definitely no, I shouldn't even say that. I can't say it. Okay. Let me make my pick, and then I'll grade this team. Chat, feel free to evaluate too and give your thoughts. Be nice, of course. So I got 1 running back. I got 4 receivers. I'm not opposed to going receiver again. You know that. There's absolutely no tight end or quarterback worth taking in this round, this range. Oh, come on, this guy. Don't. Thank you. Thank the Lord. Okay. It's like, I want one of these rookie running backs. I'm kind of surprised. It's weird because Harvey's ADP is highest. It goes Harvey, Henderson, Caleb Johnson, and yet they went in different order. I got RJ Harvey at 66. Okay. Yeah, I'm doing backflips here. All right. All right. So Christian, let's see. Quarterbacks Mahomes. I'm kind of rearranging it positionally. So you got Gentry, you got Kamara. That's a solid 1-2. You got McBride at tight ends. Looks like, okay, Puka. Interesting. Puka and Adams. So you're basically go Rams at the receiver position. It's not the worst thing. I mean, I like those two guys. It's a 12-man league. I mean, talent-wise, you're pretty stacked in your starting lineup. And Jordan Mason is fine. Garendo, I like Garendo as a, bench depth. Shakir, okay, Shakir solid. He's startable. Slayton, Slayton's a guy you can draft in best ball and he'll pay off once in a while. I don't know that he needs to be rostered. There's probably somebody you can get a little more upside right now. It's pretty solid. Like I don't love Kamara this year, but as your number 2 RB, I mean, totally fine. And you got, okay, is that Jacoby Myers as your wide receiver 3? Oh, maybe I missed that. I'm assuming that's who it is. Okay. Yeah, I like this team a lot. And there's really nothing not to like. I mean, you give a slight bit of risk because the fact that you got your top 2 receivers are both in the same team. Matt Stafford's kind of dealing with a back thing. So if that happens to bother him this season, yeah, you could be maybe not screwed, but you could be a little unhappy with that because you got both Puka and Adams. So other than that, I think it's very solid. I'd give it like an 8. All right, let's see what I want to do here. Okay. Well, both Tampa receivers are just sitting there staring at me, and yet I already have Mike Evans. I don't know if I want to be that all in on one offense. I'm going to go Golden here. Yeah, I mean, it's a good team. Like I said, those are the only things that you worry about is the fact, okay, is Jacoby Myers. Yeah, I mean, I like Jacoby Myers, very solid, number 3. And you have basically another number 1 receiver there with McBride. So take that into account. I mean, this is a very solid team, could absolutely compete. That's the only thing is the risk is the fact that you got both your top 2 receivers on the Rams offense. Good offense to be in. It's just Stafford. Again, not saying I wouldn't do it. Not saying that it's going to bite you. It's just that's a risk you're taking. But we all take risks. I mean, drafting CMC, that's a risk, isn't it? We don't know. But yeah, I like it. Okay, let's see. Paul, what's up? I believe Philip, right? Paul Skeens Enjoyer, who jumped over here from the baseball channel. Pickens over Metcalf. Yeah, that's just a trend now. That's just happening. Everyone is now all of a sudden realizing what we've been talking about all offseason is Pickens is in a really good spot. And it's not about the player, it's about the offense. And give me the number 2 receiver in Dallas over the number 1 receiver in Pittsburgh. Give me the guy who's catching balls from Dak Prescott instead of Aaron Rodgers. Give me the guy who's not in the Arthur Smith offense anymore, right? So that's what it is. I love DK Metcalf, but I don't love him this year. I'm almost never drafting him even in Underdog. In best ball, he'll have some spike weeks. But what did George Pickens do last year for you, even in best ball, right? It's just not enough. It's not enough. So yeah, I'm Pickens over Metcalf, and I know Chris is too. Okay. What is going on? I gotta make sure. Why is nobody taking any of these running backs? Okay, well, there goes Pollard, but now I get to pick which Vikings running back I like, either Jones or Mason. I'm still Jones over Mason. Sorry, Christian. I just think he's got more big game potential. It's weird that he fell. Scattaboo. Wow, he went. Okay. Someone really loves Cam Scattaboo. He went like 23 picks before ADP. All right, just more for the rest of us. All right, let me jump back to the chat. That's a good way. Kenny's always got the punchlines. DK and Aaron, it'll be an adventure and not an excellent one. No, will not be excellent. I got a bold prediction that goes with that, but I'm not going to reveal it just yet. I don't know if we're doing bold predictions this year. We should. I mean, it's fun, right? Who doesn't like bold predictions? Except for Chris. Chris doesn't love bold predictions, but I like to do them. Carl. Calvin Ridley is moving on up. At 1 point is too high. Well, you know what? I am probably going to be one of the biggest fans of Calvin Ridley being drafted this year because, I'm a Cam Ward fan. I mean, I'm taking Calvin Ridley. Let's see. He went high this draft. He definitely went higher. Okay, so his ADP is 55. He went 46. Before JMO, I could see it. I think I have JMO still ahead of Ridley. Pickens, that's where it's close. I'm taking Ridley over Metcalf, though. I'll take him over Sutton. Devontae Smith, that's also where it's close, but then I'll have him over all those other guys. So I think about pick 50 is fair. That's about where he should go. I mean, I would be okay with him even as my wide receiver 2 if I'm going RB early. I'm okay with it. All right. Before I get to the next question, let me make sure I make my pick here. So I haven't had a quarterback or a tight end yet. Travis Kelce will not be one of them. I'm okay with. I don't like anybody else here. I'm okay with Andrews. Did somebody? Oh no, they didn't. Okay. I'm not going to tell you. I know you're listening. I'm not going to tell you. I thought maybe if Baker fell, there's no way he was going to fall that far. Honestly, I have Waddle on my squad, so it would make sense to stack with Tua. I honestly don't even think I've drafted Tua at all this offseason. I really haven't. I mean, it's just floor. Floor doesn't win in best ball. I mean, look, I'm the number 1 Tua fan, but I'm just not drafting him. It's another bold prediction that goes along with that. But anyways, it's not a good one. Okay. Let's see. What would you guys, Cassius? Let me see. What would you say is the worst draft? Okay, let's put this one up. Cassius, what would you say is the worst draft pick in a 12-man league? I assume you mean spot. All right, not player. There's plenty of players that could be your worst pick. Where I'm at right now, getting stuck in the middle, 7, 8, you're kind of in no man's land. I think 8's my least favorite because if you get a top 5 pick, you know what? Maybe you could extend it to top 6, right? You can get one of the, let's say, elite running backs, right? Bajan, Saquon, CMC, throw them in the mix there. Gibbs. Or you can get your Chase, your Lamb, and I guess if you want to extend with Justin Jefferson, if you're not worried at all about the hamstring, let's say 7. And then that's kind of where the cutoff is, right? Then it's like the still elite players, but not quite, so sure. It's like the Puka neighbors. And again, I know all elite players, but still a little bit different. So I would not want to be at the 8. My next least favorite would be the 9. Let's see. Man, nobody wants Bo Nix. I don't have a Bronco. I don't think I'm going to get a Bronco, but I guess I'll just buy the dip here. There's plenty of late rounds Broncos that I could stack with him. Although somebody just took Ingram. That's okay. All right. Let's see. Carl saying the same thing with Jacoby, kind of like with Ridley. Yeah, not to the same extent. I think Jacoby is finally being fairly valued. He's been undervalued this whole time, and now people are realizing, hey, wait a minute, he's basically the number one receiver. I mean, I know Brock Bowers is technically the number one target, but Myers is still going to be the number one receiver there, and Geno Smith is still a competent quarterback. So, yeah, I think people are catching on. I'm not taking him as high as those guys. Now, I already mentioned like the Devontae Smiths, the Waddles. Let me see. So here, Jacoby went 73, and his ADP is 71. Now, his underdog is different. Redraft, I don't think he'll go much higher in redraft. I mean, there's certain players I would take over. Like, I would take him over Debo, who went sooner. He does go sooner. I would take him over Jaden Reed, and actually, I would take him over Jordan Addison. But I'm not taking him over those 49ers receivers. Olave, it's where it gets tricky. That really depends on your trust in Olave. I mean, I think that's about right. I think 60s, somewhere in the 60s, this is about right. I wouldn't take him sooner than that. All right, looks like I'm on the clock again. Okay, let's just do this. I mean, I actually was okay waiting to get Herbert as my QB1. I got him to pair with Ladd. Let's get him as my QB2. Now, I do need a third quarterback since they both got the same bye week, and I was probably going to do that anyways. That's kind of the cutoff where I was like, okay, I'll go for a third quarterback. You know what? Maybe today's the day. Maybe this is the one draft where I do get Tua. No, it won't. Never mind. He's got bye week 12 too. Sorry. Can't happen. All right. I still, okay. No, I do have a tight end. I almost forgot. Okay. Just making sure. Hold on. Team check. Got 5 receivers, 3 running backs. I mean, I like my 3 running backs, but probably need to invest a little heavier there. Yeah, Besh and Thornton will get targets, but quarterbacks do. They go to the targets they trust. They go to the guys who are open. Maybe those rookies do a good job. Maybe they're able to get open, get targets. But when he's got the choice between Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers, or Besh or Thornton, you're typically going to go to the veteran. So, yeah, I think Jacoby Myers is finally getting kind of his due. Mixon's injured, but they didn't say it's going to be the whole season. I mean, who knows? This is one of those vague things where they're like, he's hurt, he's going to miss time, but they haven't given a lot of details on it. But yeah, this is the year we're going to be like, okay, fine, we're just out on Mixon. I mean, I'll admit it. A lot of y'all know I'm not high on Mixon last year, and he was great up until the end of the season. I think we can officially just be out on Mixon. I think he used it all up last year. He did. I don't know what he did. He conjured up some magic, and he did whatever he needed to do to kind of turn back time, and that's it. He's done. Okay, not like done. Like, I'm sure he still has some decent years left, but not on my team. Let's see. You high on Caleb based on where he's getting drafted? I'm high on Caleb, yeah. Hold on. I'll wait for the dogs to stop. I'm drafting a fair amount of Caleb. In redraft, let's face it, it'll be a little it'll take a lot more confidence to pull the trigger as your starter in a redraft league, because if he flops, if he doesn't look great, you're going to be hitting the waiver wire for a quarterback, and that never feels good. You can do it, in some leagues where people don't hoard backup quarterbacks, you can do it and be fine. A lot of leagues, I know you can't. In our leagues, you can, because we don't do that. But I know a lot of leagues, there are no good quarterbacks on waiver wire, and you just don't want to have to go there. So it is risky, but I'll do it. I'm definitely high on Caleb. I mean, look, everything is in place for him to succeed. He's got talent at every position. He had talent last year, right? But the offensive line wasn't great, and of course, coaching staff was a joke. Well, now that the coach is not only new coach, but an offensive guru, that should be all it takes. And they did definitely patch up the offensive line. So, I mean, it's all in place for him. So I'm going to buy into it. I don't think that he necessarily was the problem last year. He wasn't great statistically, but you got to consider the circumstances. So yeah, I'll wait. I'll be totally happy waiting if I can get him as my number one quarterback, because that way I'm not spending an early pick on quarterback. All right, I need a running back for sure here. I have a lot of Benson. Let's make it more. Like Garendo too, but he's, perfect in this format. I mean, look, if he falls to me, I'll take Garendo. Because I do need another. Actually, I need another tight end is what I need. Yeah. Let's see. All right, let me just hold on. Let me set a queue here. Some decent tight ends in this range. Don't want to have to take 3 tight ends, but I might have to. All right, let's hold on. Let's get you back on the chat. Yeah, well, Okay, let's go to this one. Rohit Sikroff, 10th in a 14-man league. Kind of like getting Henry Lads to go to Neighbors, Puka, or Collins first. I'm fine with that. I would prefer, from those options, if that's what you think you're getting, give me Henry instead of Bucky as my running back, and Ladd instead of those receivers. I'm totally with you here. I think that's exactly what I would do. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna give that due attention, but let's draft. Okay, well, no, screw it. I was gonna take a tight end, but running back's more important. Let's do running back. Yeah, I like that idea, Rohit. I would be totally fine getting a Henry, or depending on what running back is available, maybe somebody already took Henry, or maybe you prefer Achane. I think that's fine too. It's possible. Genty's there. So I like that idea, because Ladd should be available to you basically where you go. Yeah, I think you're spot on. Good point here. Equilibrium's talking about the concern here for Joe Mixon. So, of course, everyone's jumping to grab Chubb. Not us. How could he be moving? How well can a guy move when he has that many surgeries, that many injuries? But he'll still. Here's the annoying thing: is he may not be their best option. Like, maybe it is Woody Marks. But who's really going to get the carries? It's probably going to be Chubb, at least until he either just is so ineffective or gets hurt again. Something. That's what makes it annoying. It's hard to put much faith in a guy who's a late round rookie when he just might not get a shot, and they still have Dameon Pierce. That's the thing. Dameon Pierce might be the one that nobody pays attention to. It might be actually the best option here. But then you're like, maybe I just don't want to deal with this, because it's just going to be a headache. Maybe there's nobody here who's really going to be fantasy relevant. That's kind of like I see Phil, you're saying about with the Jags running backs, the same thing. So at some point, you're just like, let's just avoid this. instead of trying to pick and, oh, it might be this guy. Maybe it's not a guy. Maybe it's all three of them are just mediocre. Maybe all three of them get me just enough points to sort of be relevant, but not to actually help me win. And so I'm not there yet with Houston. I think we still have a while before we figure out what happens there, because I don't know what's going to happen there. But yeah, it doesn't feel good trying to pick any of those running backs right now. I know that. I mean, I'll take a last round pick. Sure, I'll take Woody Marks, but don't do it, John. Don't do it. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that, because you knew I said I was taking a third quarterback. You took Cam Ward from me the other day. Thank you for leaving him for me now. And see, this works perfectly when I don't love that I have to take 3 tight ends, which it looks like I might. Well, let's see. Well, he may not make it to me. I'm really going to hope for Chig here. Let's see. So he's in Jacoby over Addison. What do I like about Addison? Well, I don't like that he might get suspended too. I think we're just forgetting that, the Rashee Rice is the big one and he'll get suspended more, but Addison still might miss a game or two. It's possible. What I don't also like is that he's got a quarterback who's never actually played in the NFL before, JJ McCarthy. I think he'll be okay, but I'm just not convinced. You know what I mean? I'm not completely convinced that Addison's going to outscore Jacoby. So just the risk factors there. That's it. Rel. 14-team full PPR, Chase or Bijan? It's Chase. There's a case you could make that Bijan isn't even necessarily the number one running back. He is for me. But, it could be Saquon. It could be CMC. You're at the one spot. Yeah, that's exactly right. You don't overthink it. You just take Jamar Chase. Yeah. All right, let's oh wow, this is almost working out too well. I got Cam Ward as my third quarterback, which I'm loving. I got Chig as a tight end. I got stacks for all my quarterbacks. It's almost going too well. Okay, still need some help at running back though. I need depth, and I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 receivers. Man, yeah, I need some running back help here. I think because I did go, because I went 3 quarterback, I'm not going to go 3 tight ends. I think Andrews should be fine. That's not a big deal. Oh, okay. We got are you a Lions fan, Equilibriums? I'm guessing, because you definitely don't seem like you have any love for the Bears, and you do love Goff and Ben Johnson. We'll see. I just finished talking about that with the Steelers, right, and the whole system, right, not the player thing. It's both, obviously, but I wonder, right? I wonder. Being in Chicago doesn't mean Ben Johnson's going to turn them into the next Lions. Right? Next Lions offense, at least. I don't think he gets any credit for the defense there, but it's not a given. I got plenty of offensive gurus who go on to do absolutely nothing as head coaches. Some guys are just better as coordinators. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm not saying it. I mean, I still have confidence the Bears are going to be good this year, but it's not a given. All right, let's see. Would you rather take Hampton in the top 3 or Caleb Johnson later on? I think at this point, it depends how late later on is, but top 3 rounds, again, I think that's too much. If I get Hampton in round 4, I'm okay with it. I think in round 3, it's just a little too early. And I love Caleb Johnson, so that's my answer. My answer is Caleb. All right. It has been foretold I would take Woody Marks, so here we go. And then now I decide, do I take another receiver? got 6 and 6. So what do I feel better about, my running back room or my receiver room? But also I'll look at it this way. How likely are the running backs I have to contribute? And most of the guys I have are actually going to get on the field. They're not just lotto tickets. I think I'm going to go another receiver. You know what? I think I'll go with the Cam stack and go another Tennessee wide receiver. Ooh, somebody just drafted, was that Jalen Lane in Washington? Interesting. Okay, because he's got Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin. It's interesting. That's the first time I think the first time I've seen Jalen Lane drafted. Nothing wrong with it. Do I take? All right, last pick here. Yeah, let's go with my sleeper rookie receiver here, Io Manor. All right, there we go. And almost done. Wrapping up on that one pretty fast. All right, one more from he who enjoys Paul Skeens. Who doesn't? Sleeper team in general, sleeky playoff team that wasn't in last year. Great question, actually, because there's always those teams in the NFL. We know teams flip and flop, and it's hard. I mean, I don't know. Sneaky, it's all relative, right? You know, I think the Bears are like too obvious, right? The Bears were bad last year. I'm not going to say the Bears is a sneaky pick, because I don't think it is. I like the Raiders better. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I don't think they're going to be that much better. And of course, I love me Cam Ward, but I don't also see the Titans being that good. I think I'm going to go with Carolina Panthers. I think they might actually finally put it together now. You know, year 2 under with Canales. Bryce Young has a full offseason, knowing he's the guy and confidence. I think Carolina could have a pretty good offense, and they've actually patched up some of their defense. So I think Carolina is going to be surprising. You know, it's not just going to be McMillan, the receiver. Leggett was hurt last year a little bit, and he was also kind of up and down. He might come through. Yeah, so I'll go Carolina. All right, what's up? Charlene is back in the house. Yeah, so I drafted Woody Marks. I had a little quick conversation with this earlier. We're talking about Joe Mixon. He's not one of those guys that jumped out to me in the pre-draft process. I mean, he's fine. I think he could have a role, but he's not one of like, man, if he only had a chance. Like other late round rookie running backs that I either thought would go earlier or I thought should have gone earlier, or, you know, guys who I'm higher on and probably let's even say the same. So Dylan Sampson is a guy that both Chris and I loved. Pre-draft, and I hated that he, number 1, fell to a bad team like Cleveland. Number 2, was behind another running back who was drafted before him, and then he went as late as he did. Well, now Judkins is not there. And Dylan Sampson is a guy who I absolutely am going to be high on. So Woody Marks is fine, but I just don't think he's a guy who's going to necessarily break out given the opportunity. So, look, what I did here is I took him with my last pick in case he does something. I know it doesn't even sound like a real name, does it? But yeah, I think he's just going to be part of an ugly committee, unfortunately. All right, well, looks like that's it. Let's do this. This draft is over, so I'm going to go back to the team view. I gotta make sure I can put it up here. Hold on a second. And we can go over, there it is. All right, I found my team. We'll find y'all's teams too. So let me just get to that other screen. All right, there it is. Me first. Bo Nix, Justin Herbert, Cam Ward. Hey, for a three-headed quarterback, I feel like that's a pretty good one. Gibbs, I went Gibbs. I guess you can call it hero RB. Waited for Harvey. I was very glad to get Harvey as my RB2, considering where I got him. I know it was only a couple of picks after ADP, but I didn't think I would land one of those running backs. I got nervous. And then Aaron Jones is my third running back. So I actually was really happy with the way this running back room shook out. And Benson, I've been taking a ton of. Ford is fine. And there's Woody Marks. Okay. So I'm pretty pleased overall with the running back room. Wide receiver, I'm just going to be honest here. These aren't necessarily my favorite individual receivers. JSN is a guy I don't know if I'll draft in redraft this high. But best ball, I feel more comfortable. He went where he's supposed to go. But I like, of course, Ladd. Fine with him as my wide receiver one. Jason Evans, Waddle, Golden for best ball. I prefer him more. Marvin Mims to go with Bo Nix, and then Iron Manor. So, yeah, I think overall, I mean, given the depth of this receiver room, I'm pretty happy with it. And then Andrews and Chig. All right, so not too bad, actually. Not too bad at all. Okay, let's see somebody who had the request. Sportshead. Number 11. Let's see. I think this goes in order, does it not? So make sure I'm looking at the right team. Is this yours? You got Lamar and Caleb, Samiori. Just make sure. I want to make sure. Okay, you like the Golden pick. Yeah, you know what? I'm coming around a little bit on Golden. I think it's just the Green Bay offense in general. Look, I don't know if you saw that video. I talked about Jaden Reed as a guy I'm mostly avoiding because the target distribution, it's more run heavy. And so how can I be like in on Golden if I'm out on Jaden Reed? And I know Golden might be there in 2 receiver sets and Jaden Reed isn't, but still, is he really going to get targeted that much more as a rookie? So I like the Golden pick here where I got him in best ball. But I want to have a lot of Golden in redraft. So this is where I draft differently on Underdog. Okay. Let's get to your team here. Sportshead. Lamar and Caleb, I mean, gotta love that. Caleb as your backup. Okay, so you went pretty early RB. You went Genty, Hall, Henderson, Ramondre, and Justice Hill. So it's... All right, so this is interesting. So usually you went 5 running backs, and that's fine because you got 2 early running backs. You got Henderson and Ramondre. Now, most people don't do that. Most people don't take 2 running backs from the same backfield in best ball because, like, you're limiting your upside. You know what I mean? Only one of those guys is probably going to be fantasy relevant. What you don't want, in other words, is you're like, well, they could both be good in the same game. That means they were both just okay, right? Nobody was having a big game. I mean, you almost, I hate to say it, but you almost want somebody to either get hurt or get benched or something to happen where they're out of the picture, right? And like, I got Henderson, forget Ramondre, or vice versa. And so most people won't do that where you have both of these running backs like in a committee. But I mean, you're kind of hedging your bet basically with Henderson. If I had Henderson there where I got him in the 60s, I wouldn't have taken Ramondre. But by itself, that's not going to kill you. Amon-Ra Odunze to go with Caleb. Very nice. Got Godwin, Bateman, Williams, Leggett, and Wilson, and Pierce, and Mitchell. All right, so you went. Now, that's okay. You got 2 receivers in the same offense, and you got them late. So that's fine because those are just pure upside picks, right? So, again, I would just say that Ramondre, where you took Ramondre, pick 131, I mean, good value, but you could have taken another receiver there probably. So that's my only nitpick. But then you got Hawkinson and Likely. So overall, it's very good. Yeah, like Colton hates the situation. All right. There you go. That's it. Do we draft? And Gloombop's asking, do we draft the weekly winners? We've done a couple. We did one about a week ago, actually. Don't know if we'll do another one on the live stream. I'll do a little bit of everything. I like to get some skin in the game. I like to do a little bit of every draft. Um, so yeah, I'll do it sometimes, but I doubt we'll do another on the live stream. We'll just either keep going Best Ball Mania until it closes, or we'll do some of those new, $5 ones once they open. But there are a lot of options since you mentioned it. So real quick, anybody watching who hasn't done this yet, it's Underdog. Get your best ball drafts in now, because I mean we're in preseason mode, and that means it's draft season, but it also means we only have a couple more weeks before draft season is going to be over. You got to get in now, and if you want to do some of these slow drafts, which there's weekly winners, those are my favorite. Pretty soon, the slow drafts are not going to be as slow. So just make sure you get in there. If you haven't tried it yet, Underdog, make sure you use promo code Endgame, sign up, and check us out. We're going to do another one of these live, and we'll also do our regular weekly mock drafts on Sleeper. We do those on Thursdays, and we're going to start picking those up to maybe 2 or even 3 a week. So turn notifications on if you haven't done it already. Don't forget, guys, give us a thumbs up on the way out. Thank you all for being in here. Always enjoy the chat, and we'll see you soon.